Afternoon and welcome to our 13th trip to around the world in a Cessna Citation CG4 using Straightway, and Straightway is a navigation app I wrote myself initially for cycling and hiking, but I tweaked it a little bit so it can be used for navigation purposes, VFR navigation purposes in aviation. We arrived here on June 7th here is Broome, Western Australia. So it's our landfall in Australia. We came from Jakarta here, and we flew all the way across the ocean to Broome. And today we're going to fly to Ayers Rock, which is over here. And I just, how did I enter that into Straightway? I just ticked this little guy on top. You see the bottom there? I googled it, the coordinates of Ayers Rock, or ask AI, like Claude or something. And they give you the coordinates in that format, which is the standard format for navigation. And then click on the little flag, and then you have your landmark anywhere in the world. Click again on little guy to remove it. And so this is gonna be our flight. We're gonna hurry because we need to be there before sunset. It's no sense for the scenery to get there when it's dark. So we're gonna leave it at that and start firing up the. Just have a look around first at Broome Airport. You got this very distinctive red-colored earth, which seems to be pretty much around Australia. Okay, so let's head over to the cockpit and start up the CG4. Battery first. Emergency lights, goes to my choke standby lights, and immediately full avionics. Because we don't need to do much programming. And then right away to our engines. Switch on our beacon light to warn everybody around that we're going to start up, and then check if our yoke is, it's set to 0. Switch the starting up. We don't have to, somebody told me we don't need to watch N1. Can right away click the start button. That's because it's full authority control VADEC, the engines. If it's not ready, it won't start up, so gonna wait though till it's fully operational, the engine, because then it starts giving through the generator, giving electrical energy to start up the second one, so that we don't need to use the battery. We don't have a ground unit. And there you go. Right one. Okay. Close the guards. Cockpit lights, even if it's what's the temperature here? It's 33 degrees. It's supposed to be winter. Okay, for our autopilot, we're gonna fly at 41,000 feet. We're flying to the east, so it's an unpaired number. Flight level 410. And our flight level change and speed will be 230 as always. Sorry. There you go. 230. And our heading will arm that as well. Now it's armed. Gotta check the meteo conditions for the airport here. Hold on. Let's try and get it on the get it on my phone. It's a little app. It's called METAR, and that's Dubai. We need Broome. That's where we are. Full METAR. Oh, we get it's World Cup advertising. So it's 10:13. Gonna put it in the barometer. Oh, well, that's standard. It's at standard 2. We're at standard barometer QNH. VFR 9 knots, 190. So it advises, of course. Well, it's a crosswind of 9 knots. Advises to take off from 28, runway 28. Okay, that's all we need to know. Just gonna check on straightway. So here we are, and that's runway 28. So we have to taxi to here. Just putting these markers, and then you know where to make a turn to a turn, and then this goes all the way to the. We're gonna use the full length of the runway just to make sure. Probably won't need it, but it's better to err on the safe side. Let's head over back to. Okay, we have full control. Our taxi lights. Taxi lights, navigation lights, and our logo. It's a day flight. We won't be using that. No passengers, no belt lights. It's just a very quick run out of my top of my head, completely as it shouldn't be done. But hey, the idea is to show straightway, demonstrate straightway. We're gonna turn to the right. There's nothing there, and make a 180. Okay, so parking brakes release, and taxi power. There, you turn to the right. Sorry. We were already past a line there. Now watch your straightaway. We have to turn to the left here. Our marker is coming up. And then right away turn to the right. And now we're taxiing to our threshold, our holding short point. We didn't bother to read the taxiways. You can see they are on straightaway, the names of the taxiways. But since we're not working with any ATC instructions, we're flying completely free. There's no airspace in our world's regulation. The idea is to show how straightaway works. Okay. Holding short of runway 28. Time for our pre-takeoff checklist. Parking brakes set. Control surfaces. Two things. The trim. Gonna set it to takeoff. And then our flaps set to 15. That's the trim surfaces checklist. We are gonna use our pitot. We always do. It's a bit ridiculous, it's 32. And then our taking off landing lights and our strobe on here. And then we need to set our heading bug to 28. I'm gonna do that approximately. It's already at 28. I think that's how we came in when we landed, so that's the reason why it's at 28. Sorry, it's runway runway 10, of course. That's why I'm a bit confused. That's the reciprocal. Gosh, I'm not in real life, I'm not a pilot, so rest assured. 10. That looks more like it. And straightaway save this, because make no sense on going to 80, so it should have been approximately 90. And that's where we switched the headings. Okay, we got our glitch for this flight and ready to take off. Gonna put on my glasses. And off we go. Brakes release. And we'll rotate at 110. So, all set. Full power. alive. And rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Wow. Amazing. And flaps up. Now we can already engage the autopilot. There we are, so can we have a look around. Heading, please. There we are, taking off from Broome, and ready to fly. To be off to Ayers Rock, 110. Yeah, so somehow our heading got disarmed. We'll do that next time as a pre-takeoff. So you noticed we rolled to the right because it was set back to roll. A little debrief on what happened there. So Broome is yeah, that's the only place around here. That's Broome. That's what you have for about 100 nautical miles around us. The only human settlement. And let's have a look at our navigation. So to go to Ayers Rock, we need to turn to 133, like so. We're doing that manually, always. (133), and we should be at 134. We are at 134. It overshot. Coming back to 134. We're past 10,000 feet, so our landing lights can go off. And we're climbing to flight level 410. And what we're gonna do now is what we didn't do before, we're gonna do a little CDI. So we have our we're going to Ayers Rock. Gonna put a little marker there in case we so Ayers Rock, I put a marker there, like so. And then we put a marker at where we are approximately now. So where we started here. Gonna do away all these markers. Okay, so now the markers are gone. Put a marker here at the airport where we started. Now the marker at Ayers Rock is also gone. Okay, so now we have a Now we have a marker at Ayers Rock and a marker at the airport. We're gonna make a little route, so make this our first waypoint. Add it as a waypoint. There you go, and then go to Ayers Rock, which was here. That's why we put the marker there. If the target changes, the marker is still there. So we're gonna do this, make this our second one. And now we have a CDI. You see it changed a bit if you zoom in. So it becomes a little route, a little channel we have to fly in. It's 4 nautical miles wide. That's the standard setting. And you can see that here. You see we have 3 miles off to the left of the... So we're gonna correct it. We're gonna turn a bit to the right. And we're gonna fly nicely on our course line. So it's like in the real world, you have a straight line, regardless if you have a crosswind or not, that puts you to the left or right. You're flying straight from A to B and not kind of circling if you have a crosswind. And now you can see our cross-track error, 2.9. It's dropping, so it should be at 0. Then we are straight on the on our course. On our leg. It's our leg really, our leg line, which has a course of 133. So we're flying 136. It's all true north. Gonna set our standard barometer, but it says it was the same. It doesn't really matter. So as soon as we are drop under 2 nautical miles, because the channel width is 4 nautical miles, and that is set here. See channel width, but it's in meters. 7,408 meters is 2 nautical miles. And you can see that the cross-track distance, when it drops on under 2 nautical miles, which will be pretty soon, the needle will start moving. So the teal is the color, will turn magenta and start moving to the center. We're almost there. There you go. And in the meantime, looking out over the Australian desert, you see it's moving the needle. can speed it up a bit to turn more to the right, like so. And now the needle will start, the speed will increase. And then we have a CDI needle, otherwise it would be just a pointing arrow, which is in aviation it's not enough, because then it doesn't correct for drift. CDI needle corrects for drift. You know you're following the intended course over the ground, or track over the ground. Course is quantity of degrees. Track is on a map. 143, we're going to use it also for the runway when we arrive the system. So now we can turn to 133. A bit more, that keeps bit. So make the intercept angle really, really small, and then it gradually. So we have an intercept angle of about 3 degrees now, and we're right on the money. We overshot it a little bit, now we're at the other side, but that's okay. We need to do that manually, so we're serving as a kind of interface between the citation, the autopilot of the citation and straightaway. That's our job as pilots. We are already at 30,000 feet. That's a bit cloudy. Two notch to the right, two, or four notches to get to 133. And now we're right on the money. Ayers Rock is 1 hour and 30 minutes, but well, it will drop because we're still at climb speed over the ground, and once we're at cruise altitude, the speed over the ground will of course increase, and this is a very wide, a very overshooting estimation of our estimated time en route. So you're stuck with me for the next 1 hour and a half approximately. And the sun will be setting. Because we're flying to the east, we're accelerating sunset, so to speak. To the left. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that a lot during this flight. And it's the first time I do so, but I use this CDI needle instead of just the direction arrow. And it's a bit more workload, of course, because you have to adjust it manually. There is a wind component also, so it might be that the no, because we're using true north. Because we're not using our true north heading, we're using our true north track direction. So that really should be equal to 133, regardless of wind. Yeah, it gets a bit complicated. So you might say, yeah, we're drifting off because our track should be, if we have a crosswind from the left, then our track should be less than the 133. No, that's not true, because it's not our heading, the 133. Even true, it's not our true heading, it's our true track. It's the direction in which the airplane is moving, regardless of where its nose is pointing to. So it already takes into account wind drift. Wow. Sorry. It's if you look out for the there's nothing here. There's no, because this is the human map, the anthropogenic map. So with all the human things like borders, like nature reserves, like here, protected area. So if there are cities, they should show up, or even settlements, but there's nothing. It's really the outback. It's the Kimberley, I'm told. This northwestern part of Australia. And Broome is all alone by itself. There's no other city. If you look at the compass rose. We have a diameter of a radius of 400 nautical miles, the rose, and there's not much. There's nothing there. Wow. It's an empty continent. 20 million people. Continent the size of well, it's larger than Europe, and there's 20 million people living there. We have our little belly camera mounted so we can look around. If you look at the back, we're coming up on 41,000 feet. We're contrailing. Those are our contrails, not chemtrails, contrails. There they are. So we're coming up on our cruise altitude. You can see we are advancing nicely towards Ayers Rock, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna already program our once we're at cruise altitude, program our descent in a straight way. Our approach, actually. Descent approach. Yeah, we're there. I'm gonna reduce our power a bit, because otherwise we'll overspeed. There's no auto throttle in the citation. Let's not exaggerate. Gonna reduce it a bit. There you go. And now the bounce per hour, or fuel burn. Oh yeah, we started off with a full fuel tank, so we're capable. We don't have to watch the economics. We're capable of doing twice the length of the flight of today, so that's why we don't watch fuel. There's no unlimited fuel. It's realistic, but it's not realistic that we would have flown with a full tank. But just because we can today, we're demonstrating straight away. So forgive me all the other shenanigans at the start of the flight. 450, gonna bring it up to 480, and then we'll want to get an overspeed. 600. We'll see how we stabilize. And what does it say? 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, that's fine. Now, mirror of our CDI needle a bit. Gonna plan our route, our descent and approach. So first we're gonna go to our destination, click on the little flag here. So that must be Ayers Rock, there it is, Uluru. But the airport is over here. And we're gonna put in already 2 markers. One for each end. And we're gonna pick up the METAR. I'm doing that with the app, so that's a bit unrealistic in real life. We would do that using the FMS of the citation. We could do that, but that would distract a bit of the purpose of the video, which is to demonstrate straight away. So we're gonna get our METAR from our little app. It's a real life Ayers Rock, Ayers. Ayers Rock. Is it this one? Former? YBAS. Where it's at 10:21. YBAS. I'm gonna do a little search if that's in indeed what we want. That's Alice Springs Airport, which is not what we want. So we need to Bulgaria. It must be this the Ayers Airport. Okay, there's no Ayers Connellan Airport, Ulara, Seafood Metar. Okay. That's the one. It's 10:21. Got already entered it in the autopilot. In our barometer, I mean. So set it here. Okay. And then back to straightway for approach. The airport is at an elevation of, change maps, like so. And then you can see the elevation lines. There's not too many, you need a number. Here's one. So it's at 500 meters. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we go to the navigation map. We make sure we are at our last the direction of landing will be 11 knots. So we'll land to the south east, runway 13. That's how we'll land. That's important when we put in our route. So this is Ayers Rock. We are now at waypoint number 2. Our second waypoint will be our inactive thresholds. That's the penultimate waypoint. So the inactive is this one. So that's our third waypoint, and then our fourth waypoint is the active thresholds. And now it's entered in straightway. So we have a route of 3 points. It's really 4 because we had Broome is our first waypoint. Remember? So this is waypoint number 2. Our inactive threshold, so the one we're not flying over when we land, should be our penultimate, our before last waypoint, and our active threshold should be our last waypoint. How do we get it on our navigation screen? Make sure you're at the last waypoint, so that's number 4. Then make sure our needle is activated, which was already the case, and then click here. You see the 309. That's the course of our final leg. So that's the runway direction. But you have to invert that. So now it's inverted. Once those 3 conditions have been fulfilled, the little airplane has appeared. You see the little magenta airplane? Click on it, and now that opens the VFR approach calculator. And here we can enter our height, altitude of the airport, MSL, in meters, but straight away converts it. And then we can also enter our pattern altitude, which is standard 1,500 feet. So that's all straight away needs to calculate. Click on the orange button. That's a big orange button. And it also explains. So we've clicked on it, and now it has calculated our pattern altitude, which is 3,140 above mean sea level. And also even the runway, it's 8,506 feet, because it's just the distance between the 2 points we've entered. So that way we can calculate airport stuff without having airport maps, just channel maps. Okay, close it. And now we have new information on our screen. We have our top of descent, which is within 294 nautical miles. And we have our pattern altitude, 3,140, and our current altitude, 42,000 feet. Wow. We're going to Ayers Rock, so the idea is that we already start descending, but do a sightseeing trip around Ayers Rock before we land. And that's why we put in Ayers Rock, or Uluru. It's Uluru, really the new name? No, the original name. Ayers Rock was the new name, and now it once more has its original name, Uluru. Is it Uluru Rock or just Uluru? And so right now we're flying to the airport following waypoint 3, 2 and 1, but we're gonna go only to waypoint no, we can keep it at that, because then it calculates our descent. 500 meters, recheck, there we are, 500 meters, so Uluru is about the same. It's flat, so the base of Uluru is also 500 meters. The top is of course something else, but we are VFR, so there's no risk of hitting it. Okay, that's it. So we'll be on the ground in 55 minutes, 52 minutes, and our descent will start, it's always approximately 20 minutes before that, so in 30 minutes we'll get to our top of descent, and our speed is, sorry, yeah, we're good. If we can keep it at 590. I don't think we're gonna... because we're moving up slightly. It's creeping up. Because what you get is, if you don't have auto throttle and you're at cruise, it's not because you set the cruise, the power, which appears to give a stable speed, that won't change, because as the flight progresses, your fuel burns, so the airplane weight gradually decreases, and when it decreases and your power setting stays the same, what happens is the airplane, because the fuel decreases, it needs less angle of attack. So it'll go gradually move like this. But that means the plane has less drag, so the speed will accelerate. And that's why your speed keeps creeping up for a fixed power. Think about it. You don't have that problem with auto throttle. Then the throttle is adjusted accordingly automatically. But we have that problem here, so we need to put in some leeway margin. So we can't just put it up to the red tape, because then we need to check it every 2 minutes. But now it's at this fuel burn 460, we have some margin. Yeah, that's how I'm alone in the airplane, and that's how it is in the real world, or can be, because it's a plane that is certified for a single pilot. One of the few jets, private jets, that is certified for, if not the only one, for. Yeah, I think the what's the name of the new one? The very small one. That perhaps too. But 2 engines? I don't know. I'm gonna take a coffee break in the back, and we'll get back as soon as we reach our top of descent. So what I'm going to do is set the camera to the belly, so that you have the belly camera, so that you have something to watch. And I'm going to put our map. And wow, we're 20 nautical miles, of course. In the meantime, with all that talking, so I'm gonna put our course a bit to the right. Our track, that it exceeds 132. And then we'll gradually start reducing that cross-track number while I'm having my break. Which in the real world you would, of course, never do. Okay. Catch you later. Hello, back again from my coffee break, extended coffee break. Hope you enjoyed the view of the Australian outback. And we are 23 nautical miles from our top of descent, and we are set to waypoint number 2, which is Uluru, or formerly known as Ayers Rock. And our third waypoint will be the inactive thresholds, and our fourth waypoint is the active. That's where we will be going for. You see the blue number. The blue number is, hold on, don't have a visual on me. Okay, so the blue number is the distance between the next waypoint and the after the next waypoint. So the next waypoint is number 2, and the waypoint after is waypoint number 3. Waypoint number 3 is the inactive threshold. So that means that the airport is only 10 nautical miles away from Uluru, Ayers Rock. And that blue number doesn't change, of course, because the waypoints don't change. I was playing, oh yeah, we're at 42, flight level 420. We may have changed that accidentally up, so to show again, this is not a flight instruction video, it doesn't really matter. For straightway for our descent, it recalculates, it calculates always from your current altitude, so you don't need to do anything. So we'll keep at flight level 420. In real life, you would of course have been reprimanded by ATC. What the hell do you think you're doing? So 7 nautical miles. What's gonna happen is as soon as that drops to 0, means we've reached our top of descent. It'll show 2.5, so it starts a glide slope to the target, which is Uluru Rock, Ayers Rock, which is a bit too shallow, so we'll wait till it's sweet in the middle, which is 3 degrees. Gonna wait for that to show up. Almost there at 475 knots ground speed. 1 nautical mile doesn't really take all that much time. There we are, 2.5. We're gonna wait till it's 3, so it gets steeper as we continue, of course. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set our descent in the autopilot already, so we have our parent altitude. It's 3,140. I'm gonna put that in as a selected altitude in our. There we go, 3,000 all the way down. 3,140. It doesn't give the. So we gotta do that, make it 3,200 to be sure. No, 3,100 it's rounded to the nearest. Okay, and gonna recheck our parent altitude. Sorry, our can we have a it's still 10:21. Yeah, so we're good on our RQNH, and for the rest we're gonna wait till we are at We're at 2.8. So we're gonna activate our vertical speed mode here. And now we need to, as soon as we're at 2.8, 3, we'll give him the descent rate that the straightaway suggests. So now it suggests 2,300, 2,400. We'll put that in the autopilot, and that's it. We're a bit off. Gonna now start flying straight to Uluru. Degrees right slope. So descent 2,600. That's what we enter in the 2,600. And we'll put in our descent power. We're setting our descent power. And let's see how it stabilizes. Because it's continually, so we initiated our descent. That's still 114 nautical miles to Uluru. 2006, it says 2,565, 2006. So rounded up to the nearest 100 upwards. So that's a good way to do. So 2,600 is okay. That should keep us at our 3-degree glide slope. And we're descending. And the sun's setting already, but we'll be there just in time for a wonderful sunset overflight of Uluru. We'll be there in 13 minutes, so be patient, and if all goes well, when we break through the clouds, we should see Uluru right in front of us. And it should be. So if you can look at the map, so we're outside our 4 nautical miles a bit, but we're not going to watch it anymore. We're just going to fly straight to Uluru. And there it is. This is our Uluru. It's 863 the top. That means the airport is 500. That means the height of Uluru is 363 meters. Wow. That's skyscraper high. Amazing. There's a lake, Ayers, to the left. Gonna see if we can see that. Okay, so we're gonna go straight to Uluru now. 134, 129. So we need to go 5 notches to the left on the 5 degrees to the left. So 1, 2, 6 degrees. 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to want to add one more. We really want to be pointing straight at Uluru when we get there. And 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And 1 more. There we are. 128, 128. Ah, we're already going through the clouds, so the view will be great. We're still at 3 degrees, perfect. But we need to keep checking. Our 2600 will be a bit too steep, so I'm gonna go to 2500. Even 2000. Yeah, okay. Nine minutes to target. And that's Lake Amadeus, but I think that's Microsoft Flight Simulator makes it look like a lake, but I think it's dried up. Oh, 16 it's a bit erratic, the GPS. We should be fine. Go switch to the other map. There you go. So you see these striped. That striped blue means that it's at some parts of the year it's dry. But I think it's dry approximately 90% of the year. So it's not a real lake. It's a salt plain. Probably. It's like in many other places of Australia, like here. This is also supposedly a lake, but it's just huge, 300 nautical miles, 33 nautical miles in diameter. But it's just a salt flats. Back to our current position. Back to our navigation screen. 2000. 1 notch to the right. And our descent rate is 2000. Gonna reduce it a bit. Once we get to Ayers, to Uluru, we're gonna configure the plane already for pattern work, so put flaps out at 15, so we can reduce our speed for the sightseeing tour, and then we're already configured for the landing. That ride is really stunning. Because we're getting a sunset golden hour for the sun is slightly setting. Where's the sun? Where's the sun? There's the sun. So we're gonna get almost perfect conditions for viewing Uluru. Lake Amadeus, dried up salt flats, like in Utah. But Ayers Rock is gonna be there, and it's, I don't think it already shows if you zoom in. There's nothing there. No, not there. That's, oh, could it be 129? Nope, I don't think it is, because we're really pointing. We're even pointing to the right of Ayers Rock, so that's why I adjusted a bit the course. We're turning to the left now, till we are at truly 128, 129. Uh, 128. Another nudge to the left. No, this is definitely not Ayers Rock. Keep saying Uluru. Sorry. Where are we on our descent? Oh, gonna reduce that to 1800. Yeah, we dropped already, but no worries, as I say in Australia. Aha! Do you see what I see? Oh no. No, that's the one we saw before. So it should be dead ahead. It's not yet configured by by the simulator. It must show up just in front of us if straightaway is correct. Gonna switch to the real barometers, and already put our landing lights before we forget. And I don't think we're gonna need those pitot heatings anymore. So master caution out. Pitot static cold standby. Yeah. It's we got 11 degrees red. So no worries. Well, doesn't mean you can't have it's not because it's not freezing outside, so perhaps leave them on. We'll do that once we're on approach. 2.8. .29 nautical miles. We should be seeing still nothing there, and it's not this. I'm quite positive. I think it's because it's such a detailed feature, it's not part of the normal landscape, so it's added as a special feature by the flight simulator. That's why we don't see it replicated already. Because going straight for it, 24 nautical miles, we should start seeing it. an eye on the cockpit. 2,600 descent rate and 1,600 descent rate. Yeah, we'll stay at 2.8, which is perfectly fine. Our parent altitude is set, and we just waiting for Uluru to materialize in front of us magically. You see the blue arrow, because we're approaching now, the blue arrow points to our, that's the inactive threshold. The red arrow points to Uluru, and the blue arrow, because that's the next waypoint, points to the airport, really. So what's our fuel status? Six hours to reserves, plenty of fuel. Still got 2,000 nautical miles, so we don't have to worry about that one. And our reference speed. Okay. Well, what do we have there? There it is, Uluru, in all its glory. It didn't fail to meet its appointment. So we're gonna do some sightseeing. Oh, that's why we get our overspeed. And the overspeed is now 250. It's not that it could damage the airplane. It's set, somebody told me, because that's the speed at which a bird strike would be could break the windshield. That's why it's so low. But anyway, there's also the rule: we cannot exceed 250 below 10,000. We were too much enthralled by Uluru to watch basic avionics. Wow. Don't forget to get back to the that's Uluru, and it's just before sunset. Amazing. So we should level off at 3,100. And that'll happen just before we
altitude.
There we are. So we'll need to do the sightseeing. That's just amazing, beautiful. And you can see how huge it is. Okay, so we'll have a look at it first time. It's a bit overcast, so it's not the most but it's wonderful. That's just amazing. Now I have to watch our cockpit because our speed will, yeah, flaps 15 and cruise speed, just setting that before we get into trouble. That should do the trick. Can go back to sightseeing. We're at flaps 15 now. This is our apparent altitude for the airport as well. But we're gonna do. We're gonna turn back to Uluru. We're gonna circle it now. We have 2,000 miles of fuel to burn, so there it is. We keep circling till the lights will get just as perfect. Apparent altitude for the airport is perfect for Uluru. Try to get as close as possible. I think we're gonna fly over it, not hit it. I hope. It's too risky. So I'm not changing my altitude, but now we're really close. Not sure you're allowed to do this in real life. It's huge. It's huge. There it is. Certainly was worth the flight. There are some other, there's another one, but it's not as spectacular, not as prominent, and for the rest it's just flat. That's just Uluru, which is amazing. It's like the gods have thrown a rock, and there's some mountains at the horizon. That's more like ridges. Okay, we're gonna do another pass. Sorry. Just turn around. There it is. Keep it turning. So the yellow arrow in the straightaway is always pointing to Uluru. And the distance is 4 nautical miles. Now we're gonna pass by the left, because we passed by the right already. We've done it already. .5 nautical miles. And 160 knots, which is perfect for flaps 15. Now we have to watch out with our altitude, because if the barometer changes, then we can have a because get the impression we are higher now than before. But are we gonna take that risk? Okay, I'm intervening. Okay, add to intervene manually, because that was just too risky. Okay, release. Wow, we would have hit the top of Ayers Rock. That settlement here is, does it have a name? Yeah, it's Uluru, and it has a pharmacy and a school. It's probably for indigenous people. Yeah, little settlement. And we're flying away from it. Okay, I think we've seen Ayers Rock enough. It almost cost us our life. And we need to be landing. So this is the runway. And we need to land in the opposite direction. We need to land to the southeast. So we're gonna use straightway. Now we're gonna change the to the remember for our, we need to put it to the number 4, and then reverse our course. So it's important. It's now 129, so that's our direction of landing. Gonna turn to the right, because we are 3 nautical miles from the center line. We'll like to keep that at least 6 nautical miles. Ideally 10. The yellow arrow points to the threshold we need to land over, number 4, waypoint number 4. And the magenta line, the arrow points the direction we're gonna land on the runway. It's that easy. So we're turning now to fly parallel. And Uluru, where's Uluru? There is Uluru. Gonna do one last pass. Okay, So we're flying out now at an intercept. We're flying out away from the center line, and we'll fly till it's about 10 nautical miles. So at a kind of 45 degree. So we're flying to our downwind, our right hand downwind. We're doing a right hand pattern. There's Uluru. It's the star of the day, so we keep focusing on it. We're coming up on almost 10 nautical miles, and then we'll fly parallel to the runway, which must be there, behind Uluru somewhere. Okay, so we can start initiating our turn to the right and start flying parallel. There we are, 10 nautical miles almost. Approximately overshooting it a bit. No worries. So the runway should be there. Watch the yellow arrow, points to the runway. It must be over there somewhere. Gonna fly downwind till we are abeam, till the threshold is abeam. So 90 degrees to the right, and then we'll do a kind of a DME arc. Not a true base, which is squared, but we'll keep the airport threshold at, we'll see, at 10 nautical miles, because we are now at 10 nautical miles. We're flying at 10 nautical miles from the center line. So as soon as it's beam, the threshold, it will also be at about 10 nautical miles. That's pattern mathematics. Oh, there's a lonely car. It's one of those road trains. Gonna put on my glasses. They're not sunglasses. They're reading glasses. Ah, that's better. Fly into the sunset. Runway is almost abeam. Halfway the turn, we'll lower our landing gear. What's the temperature now? It's 18 degrees. I think we can safely switch off the pitot. There you go. Almost abeam. cinematics. Okay, we're a beam, so we'll start turning to the left, to the right, sorry, to keep that angle, that yellow angle at about approximately 90 degrees. So we're doing a kind of DME arc of 10 nautical miles. All the way till we reach the approach line. The center line of the runway. And then we'll turn full to towards the runway. Turned a bit too much, so we'll fly straight for some time till the yellow arrow comes back to 90 degrees. So why do we want to keep this long distance so we can stabilize the plane and do the configuration? Configure it for landing. At 4 nautical miles, we'll from the center line, we'll extend the gear. Gonna wait with that as long as possible. To keep fuel consumption. And watch our distance, it stays at about 9 nautical miles, so we're doing a DME arc manually. Just adding some notches manually in the autopilot. And now we've turned again a bit too much, so we're going to continue without doing anything. Flying straight ahead now. Is gonna bring our speeds back under we'll extend our gear here. Gear extend. Does that do to our speed? Gonna increase our speed 4 nautical miles. Gonna increase our speed just to under 35. Watch, we're almost at 2 nautical miles. As soon as we reach 2 nautical miles, we'll turn really hard to the right. Already gonna put us at perpendicular to the runway. So we're ready to turn and we can already do the full turn. There you go. See it move? Put it at approximately 45 degrees. That should bring us at intercept. We're gonna pretend that we don't see the runway, just using straightway. And reducing our speed to below flap speed. So we can, we're now at 2 degrees, so we wait till we are at 3 degrees. But before that we would like to be on the established, the localizer. Okay. And there is the runway. Gonna check my pedals. Oh, we got stand by to disengage the autopilot. Disengage the flaps full. We're just gently trimming. We're at 3.4 bite slope and we should be at 700, and we're at 900. We're descending a bit too much. We should be descending at 600 and we're descending way too much.
500.
Okay, now our descent rate is okay. Our glide slip is too low, but our descent rate is okay, so. There's no auto thrust, so we need to brake. And we're making it to the first exit here. Welcome to Ayers Rock Airport. And I'm gonna cut our lights here. Taxi and strobe off. Our pitot is also off, so we're ready to taxi. I'm gonna show where we are here, and I'm gonna park here somewhere. So this is where we need to take our turn. To the right, that's all. That landing was not textbook. There were lots of things going wrong with that. But anyway. Now this is where we turn to the right. I will park somewhere with a view on Uluru. Uluru is... let's see where Uluru is. Just to follow this here. Do we have... there is a Uluru. Wow. I suppose these are parking places. Oh, there were people waiting for us. Yeah, well, we'll park here anyway. Are they waving? Yeah. Should have looked for them, but anyway, here we are at can make sure put this a bit more that we at least straight. There we are. Welcome to Uluru, and there is the rock. What a backdrop for that's an arrival that can count. Gonna switch off the engines. And that's by... there you go. And what's the temperature here? 20 degrees. That's nice. Kill the battery. So, hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you next time for our next leg on our trip around the world.